Hi, it's Catherine Cavella from IPWorks Law. I just wanted to do a quick video on what's the difference between a strong trademark and a weak trademark and why it matters. Um, so, first of all, there is such a thing as a strong trademark and a weak trademark. Strong trademarks are what we call distinctive, and that is easier to explain after I describe a weak trademark. Weak trademarks are descriptive or generic for what you're doing. And so it's one of these things where many times people, when they're coming up with a brand for their product or their service, they think, you know what, I'm going to pick something that's very, very, that as soon as they see the name, they'll know what I do. So actually, I'm going to use as an example my parents' store, because they for many years had a store called the Copy Store that made Xerox copies. And so this was before I was a trademark lawyer. I was in junior high. And one of the things that's difficult about a trademark like the Copy Store, like they were very well known in their area, but there's really, it's a store that sells copies. And so if someone had started a similar name, in fact, there actually was in another part of Southern California, there was another store called the Copy Store. I ran across them one day, and the paths never crossed because my parents' business was pretty local. They had one location, and this was pre-internet. So their reach was local. And so it didn't end up being a problem for them. I mean, fingers crossed, because the other store was still in Southern California. It wasn't that far away. It was maybe an hour and a half away. So it is conceivable that if someone had had a bad experience at that other Copy Store, they might have thought that my parents' store was the same brand. These days, the chances of overlap it's much more likely because of the internet and social media. So, this is another reason why I think trademarks are even more important now than they were then. Business is just much more national and global than it was pre-internet. So, so it's good to be proactive and understand how trademarks work so that you can set yourself up for success. All right, so back to strong trademarks versus weak trademarks. The more descriptive your trademark is, the weaker it is. And ultimately, if it's just generic, like, I think the example I was using before was Pittsburgh Mattress Store. So if you are a mattress store in Pittsburgh and your company, your brand is Pittsburgh Mattress Store, that is completely descriptive, if not generic. So the law says anyone has the right to use the words mattress store and Pittsburgh in the name of their store if they are a Pittsburgh Mattress Store. So you can't stop someone else from using a similar trademark. That's the problem with a descriptive mark is, the trademark office and the trademark law will not give you the exclusive rights to use the words that describe what you do, and prevent anyone else from using those. You can put them together in creative ways. You can come up with something that's suggestive, not just descriptive, like sleep on a cloud. If that were the name of your store, it's suggestive. It's not a completely made up word like Google, but so it still tells people it's something having to do with sleep, and sleep on a cloud. It's probably about mattresses and pillows and things, right? So that is what we would call a suggestive trademark. It is much stronger. It's much easier to enforce. It will cost you a lot less to enforce. It will cost you a lot less to get registered. It's just better all around. So if you are starting out and you are in the process where you are trying to decide what your trademark and branding should be, please choose a strong and distinctive mark, or at least a suggestive mark like sleep on a cloud, instead of a very, very descriptive or generic mark like Pittsburgh Mattress Store. You will save a ton of money, and heartache. And the other thing is, if you talk to any branding professionals, which I recommend that you do, they will tell you that strong brands they are memorable if they create uh, some kind of a reaction or a visual or something in the person in the audience that is seeing that marketing. So if I say Pittsburgh mattress store, or if you see an ad that says Pittsburgh mattress store, it's kind of boring, right? You understand it's a mattress store in Pittsburgh, but you can get that from reading the ad. You don't need it to be the name. Um, and if you see Sleep on a Cloud, not that that's the greatest name in the world, but at least it creates a visual in your mind. Maybe it creates some kind of emotional connection, like that sounds really nice, or even if you maybe it creates a negative. I mean, maybe it creates a negative emotional reaction, but at least it creates a reaction. And so if you engage in as visually or emotionally with the brand, it is going to be more memorable. So it will actually serve as a better brand anyway. But from a legal perspective, it's also much, much stronger, much more enforceable, and it will save you thousands of dollars in legal fees just because you knew enough to adopt a strong and distinctive brand. So that's what the point I wanted to make. I hope that was helpful. Thanks. Bye.